Shadow Dragon here. Just a reminder that this video and all my other videos, viewer discretion is advised. Lots of coarse language and obviously violent content being Call of Duty. So if you're not supposed to be watching this, don't. And if you're easily offended by certain cuss words, obviously don't watch this. Um, but yeah, other than that, have yourself a great day. Shadow Dragon here, and today I'm going to bring you the top 10 loadouts that you could be running in Warzone. I want you to keep in mind that the perk packages that I chose are specifically for me. I like running Ghost. Um, some of them you might have to change so you can run fast hands. Definitely run fast hands with the LMGs and stuff like that. But for the most part, I like to run Ghost and Cold Blooded. Um, when it's overtime and plunder, definitely take a Cold Blooded class. That way you're not getting shot up by the friggin' helicopters. But without let's get into loadouts first. So for number 10, we're going to work our way down. For number 10, we got the Akimbo P890s. Um, so we're going to start. I'm going to start this off by letting you guys know that all the weapons at the beginning of Season 4 Reloaded got overhauled for Warzone. They gave us back our headshot multipliers, so that means like jump shotting is now probably more effective than drop shotting now, even though drop shotting does break aim assist sometimes. But um, they are rewarding us for being better marksmen and being able to hit those headshots. So, um, just wanted to throw that out there. And they also changed the damage profiles on almost every single weapon. So we have clear front runners here and some changes, and so that's why I'm bringing you guys the meta loadouts for the top 10 because it is still a competitive meta. There is plenty of weapons you can use to choose from, and some guns will outgun other guns. Period. End. Like right now, one of the our top loadout is broken. It's absolutely busted. If you're trying to be sweaty and kill everybody really fast, the first loadout is going to be the best way to do it. They probably will patch it soon, so make sure you have some fun with it before they do. I'll have a video out on the secondary for the number one loadout. Um, Probably the same day as I do have this out. So without further ado, we got the Akimbo P890 grip. We have the 12 round mag, the Bruin Express trigger, tuned for recoil smoothness and sprint to fire speed. The FT Steelfire, recoil smoothness and bullet velocity, and the 1 milliwatt laser pistol tuned for hip walking speed and hip spread. And then for our weapon, we have the M13B, 60 round mag, lone wolf optic. We have high velo tuned for damage range, and bullet velocity, which always forget to change that um, to the recoil. Like it doesn't help with the damage range. Does help significantly with the bullet velocity, so we can tune for it better. The X10 ported for recoil stabilization and recoil control. The the M13's recoil is pretty much almost straight up and down, so this is the best way to combat that. And then the Bruin Echelon barrel tuned for recoil steadiness and a little bit of aim down sight speed. So that's number 10. Number 9 is going to be a sniper loadout using the MP7 as a sniper support. This also is one of the weapons that got a buff. If you can hit your headshots, it kills pretty damn quick. It's about 633 milliseconds with a headshot put in there. Um, and if not, it's about 693 milliseconds for the TTK if you hit all like chest and neck shots and stuff. But this is a sniper support build, so we went for increasing the bullet velocity and the damage range on top of making it very easy to control. It's not the snappiest gun, but it's also not as slow as an AR. So we got the Corona Mini Dot tuned for aim down sight and the farthest eye position. Then we got the VLK Laser tuned for sprint to fire and aim down sight speed. Then we have the Tango 228 barrel tuned for aim walking and aim down sight speed. And then we have the Bruin Cubic Comp tuned for aim down sight and recoil control. And then the 50 round mag. If you feel like you're still missing shots for whatever reason, go ahead and switch to the 60 round mag. Doesn't matter. And then, in my opinion, the best one-shot sniper. So this is ones that will actually, hit somebody in the head and then they go down. Is the MCPR because you get the best bullet velocity as the best accuracy, in my opinion. So we get the explosive mag tuned for damage range and bullet velocity. We have the Nilstow 90 tuned for aim down sight and bullet velocity. Then we have the OMX barrel tuned for aim walking speed and damage range. Then we have the Choreo laser tuned for aim walking steadiness and aiming idle stability. Then we have the Cronin Lion stock tuned for aim down sight and aiming idle stability. So next is going to be another sniper loadout, and this one's is with the quote-unquote one-shots. So for our sniper support, we have the AK-74U, which caught a buff. It now kills faster than the Chimera. Um, so this is definitely the sniper support you want to be using. 45 round mag, the high velocity ammo. This one also, once again, I apologize because this takes up some of our time. We do tune it for recoil, and then we have the X10 Havoc tuned for aim down sight and recoil control. The BR209 barrel. We leave the left one alone because it doesn't help us with anything, and then we go aim down sight speed. And then we have the FSS OLV laser, tuned for sprint to fire and aim down sight speed. And now, in my opinion, the best quote unquote one shot sniper is the LAB. You guys are going to laugh at me because everyone's like, oh, Shadow, the LAB is fucking atrocious. It's terrible. Nobody uses it. It's got such a tiny pick rate. Built out every single sniper that can one shot with the incendiary rounds, excluding the signal because it's semi auto. This one has the best bullet velocity out of any of them, which means that you're going to hit your shots at range and you not have to worry about really leading your shots too much. So we got the ZLR pad extension tuned for aim down sight and aiming idle stability. We got the Choreo laser tuned for sprint to fire and aiming idle stability. We have the fluted barrel tuned for recoil steadiness and aim down sight speed. We have the Nilstown 90 tuned for aim down sight speed and bullet velocity. And then the incendiary rounds are tuned for damage range and for bullet velocity. So that'll do it for those snipers. And our number 7 loadout is going to be the Icarus. This gun is an absolute monster. It's disgusting. So we get the high velocity. This time we're tuning for both damage range and for recoil steadiness. F-Tech Ripper tuned for recoil stabilization and aiming out stability. X10 Havoc tuned for recoil stabilization and recoil control. The F-Tech Cold Forge 16 gives us a really big buff to damage range, which is important. And then we got the recoil steadiness and the damage range on the tunes there. And then this one has the AIM-OP V4, tuned for aiming down sight speed and the farthest eye position. Um, you guys will see that I actually like using this now. Wait, what the shit? Yeah, it won't let me use anything else for it. That is weird. Okay, so this is bugged. So as you guys can see, it says I can't equip another. It says it just equip. I have skins for it, but it won't let me access the skins for it. So we'll just go back to the black hat one. This is fine. Okay, there we go. So that'll be that, and then the MX9 has one of the best time to kills in the game. This is a very niche weapon, but I wanted to include it in the top 10 because technically it is a top 10 weapon. It's really a top 5, but I bumped it down because of the magazine size. 32 rounds, this is most we get. We get the Bruin Q900 rear grip tuned for recoil steadiness and for sprint to fire speed. The F-Tech 11 riser tuned for recoil stabilization and aim down sight speed. The VLK laser tuned for sprint to fire and aim down sight speed. And then we have the Bruin 16.5-inch barrel tuned for recoil steadiness and for damage range. Um, so yeah, it's absolutely disgusting. So now we'll go to number 6, which will be the HCR, which, boop. So you can see, like, I have the skins for it. It's just for that gun. It's bugged for some reason. So, aim down sight, farthest eye position. We have the Stip 40 grip. Oh my fucking god. Here we go. Tuned for recoil steadiness and aiming out stability. They have the high velocity ammo tuned for recoil smoothness, recoil steadiness. F-Tech River recoil stabilization, aiming idle stability, and then the Harbinger D20 tuned for recoil smoothness and aiming idle stability. Then we have the MP7 built as a regular SMG. We have the 50 round mag. If, like I said, if you feel like it's not enough, go to 60. We have the combat grip tuned for aim down sight and sprint to fire. Makes it a little more consistent. We have the demo stock tuned for aim down sight and aim walking speed. VLK laser tuned sprint to fire, aim down sight speed, and the Lock DX 203mm barrel tuned for aim walking speed and aim down sight speed. This thing's an absolute laser beam, and honestly even built like that, it can work as a sniper support. Our We're getting into the top five now. We got the wrap, and the issue with the wrap is um, it's got more recoil than some of the other options here, and that's literally it. It kills insanely fast at range, um, and it's still pretty accurate, and you have a lot of ammo. So we get the Lone Wolf optic as always, aim down sight, farthest eye position. The Lockman TCG-10, tuned for recoil steadiness and aiming idle stability. High velo ammo, tuned for recoil stuff. F-Tac Ripper, tuned for recoil and aiming idle stability. And then the second tread 40, tuned for recoil stabilization and recoil control. And then we have the Vaznev. The Vaznev caught a buff for this because we do have headshot damage back. So we brought this back with the 45 round mag, the True Tac rear grip, tuned for recoil steadiness and aiming depth. And then the sprint to fire speed. If you want a little bit more control, you can. Here we go. Tune it for the inverse on the Demo X2 grip, which is probably what I would rather do. Then we get the broadside FCT, gives us aim down sight speed, which if you watch the handling, it doesn't do anything. So we tune for aim walking speed and then nothing on the other side. And then we have the OLV laser, tune for sprint to fire and aim down sight speed. And then I use the SA response 3, which this isn't tuned, which is a little weird. So we're going to go with aim walking speed and then aim down sight speed. So I've told you guys why before, because the other barrel, which is the CAS barrel, um, they grip the barrel with the thumb on top, and it's a distraction to me personally. Um, it just looks weird. So technically, the cast barrel is better. It's not quite like it gives you more of an aim down sight penalty, but the damage range buff and the bullet velocity buff are better than the SA response. The SA response makes the gun feel a little better with the recoil control, but it does get like a slight buff to bullet velocity and damage range without hurting your aim down sight as much. So that's that build, and then that's number five. So number four, we have the Socken MG38. This thing is still an absolute laser beam. Nothing really happened with it. Flinch resistance on this in the farthest eye position. Stip 40 grip, tuned for recoil steadiness and aiming out stability, which I guess I had there for a reason. Right there. F-Tac gripper as always, recoil stabilization and aiming out stability. ZLR Talon, recoil smoothness and bullet velocity. And then the Bruin Silver Series barrel, recoil steadiness and damage range. And then the FSS Hurricane also caught a huge buff. Before this was a top five, it just kind of fell short because of its damage drop off. But now it just kills really quick within that first damage range, which if you have it built like this, is about 11, 12 meters, which isn't bad for an SMG. So we got the Phantom Grip, um, which we're just gonna go ahead and tune for sprint to fire and aim down sight. I don't know why it wasn't tuned, but we have the demo Quicksilver stock tuned for aim down sight and aim walking speed. OLV laser sprint to fire aim down sight speed. The cannonade barrel tuned for aim walking speed. I apologize for that. Right there, and aim down sight speed, and then the Lacerda compensator tuned for aim down sight speed and recoil control. Go ahead and give it a shot. It has really good strafe speed, really good movement speed. It's pretty snappy, and if you're hitting any kind of shots, chest, neck, head, whatever, it kills pretty quick now. So go ahead and give that a shot. Top three. It's back. The Tempest Torrent. So we got the 50 round drum, the Forge Tac Delta 4, tuned for flinch resistance and closest eye position because we're looking at it downwind. Then we got the F-Tac Ripper to help with that sway, tuned for recoil stabilization and aiming idle stability. We have the Tempest GH50 for recoil stabilization and recoil control, and the Outreach 4 barrel, which should be tuned for recoil stabilization and damage range. And then we have the ISO 45 has been knocked down from its platform at the very top. It is now the third best secondary in the game. So this is the same build that I've been using since it was released. Demo Tac Fade, tuned ADS aim walking speed, 45 round drum. VLK Laser, tuned sprint to fire, aim down sight speed. 9-inch PTX trainer barrel, tuned for aim walking speed, aim down sight speed. The strafe speed of this gun is absolutely ridiculous. And then the XRK Sandstorm, tuned for aim down sight and recoil control. Now, number 2, we get the Scar H, or the TAC V. This is my iron sight build. That being said, if you are playing like a smaller map, like when we get fall into lockdown later this week, you could take the high velocity off and add an optic. But if you want to keep the high velocity on, you could take the combat rear grip off. If you feel comfortable with all this, you can actually take off the compensator and put on one of the heavier suppressors, so you can get even better bullet velocity and extend out the damage range a little bit. But this is the build that I like to use. It's the iron, iron sight build. So we go recoil steadiness and aiming idle stability on the FSS combat grip, 50 round drum, high velo ammo. Once again, I apologize for the mistunes. It's been a while since I've messed with this stuff. So, yep, there we go. And then lock grip precision, hip recoil control, and aim down sight speed. And then the Tempest GH50 recoil stabilization and recoil control. Lockman sub is back, baby. And this is the build that we were using before. Kind of, sort of. We got overpressured on there, but I'm actually going to put the this one on there. Ooh, that's pretty. And then we're going to tune it for the inverse. Right there. So this is the one we've been using. So you saw the tunes for that: 50 round drum, mirror recoil, factory stock. Actually, yeah. VLK laser, sprint to fire, aim down sight speed, and the Falcon barrel, recoil steadiness, and damage range. So it kind of makes it a very broad barrel. So that's number 2. And without further ado, the number 1 meta loadout in Warzone now is the Cronin Squall once again. And it's the same build we were using before. Nothing's changed about it. It's all about recoil control. So 50 round drum, because it does have a pretty decent fast fire rate for a battle rifle. Whatever optic you're comfortable with, you want to tune it for the farthest eye position and usually the aim down sight speed. Lock grip precision, recoil control, aim down sight speed. SA leveler in this case because you want the a lot of horizontal recoil control because it kind of goes like up and to the left for recoil. So this one gives like 23% horizontal and like 15% um, vertical recoil control. So it helps out a lot in both areas. So tuned for recoil control, recoil stabilization, and then the HCR6 barrel recoil steadiness and damage range are the tunes for that. And the fastest killing gun in the entire game right now is the X13 auto pistol. If you hit a headshot, just one headshot with this gun, you're killing in 455 milliseconds. It is disgustingly fast, but its base TTK, I believe, is a little over 500. Still ridiculously fast, considering we just got a health increase and it's still killing that fast. So 50 round drum, Cronin Lima 6, tuned recoil steadiness, and sprint to fire speed. I go with an optic in this case because the visual recoil is atrocious on this. So we tune that for aim down sight in the farthest eye position. FJX diode 70, tuned sprint to fire and aim down sight speed, and then the XRK LUC9, tuned recoil steadiness and aim down sight speed. So the reason we don't build this as an SMG with the impact point is because it slows it down significantly, and even though it says it helps with recoil control, it doesn't do anything for the recoil control. This build right here is absolute laser. So this is the build that I was using, and then in the gameplay that I'll show you guys, which it's not going to be on this video, but the the gameplay that I have for this gun, you'll see there's no way I should have won half the fights that I did, but this gun just kills extremely fast. So, but yeah, without any further ado, nothing more to say. With that being said, however we want to finish this, that's going to do it for our top 10 loadouts for Warzone today. Make sure you like the video, comment your thoughts on this. Are we happy we're back to a Cronin Squall meta? Are we excited about guns that we've not really seen used get buffed finally? Um, what are your favorite weapons that you're using? Let me know what you think. And if you're new, make sure you subscribe and you hit that bell icon so you get notifications when I post videos just like this. And I will catch you guys in the next video.